Hello, my loves. Michelle here. Welcome to another episode of FEMPIRE Builders. Today, I want to talk with you about a subject that I think is really important. And if in 2025 you want to clearly see how far you have progressed over the next 12 months, then you might want to listen up. We are talking about measuring what matters most so that you can measure your growth and also see where you can pick up the slack if things aren't growing the way you want them to. I have been having my masterminders record these three stats for as long as I can remember because I think they're really important. They're called the three R's. So the stats that we want to measure are revenue, reach, and results. Let's talk about them. If you already have a business that feels great, you've got offers that feel aligned, you feel like your marketing is good, you feel like your messaging is on point, you feel like all of those things are amazing and all you need is more eyes on your business, then growing your reach is going to grow your revenue by default. If you already have people that are buying your coaching packages, and services, if they're already buying, it doesn't matter what size your audience is. If you double that or triple that or 10x that audience size over the next 12 months, then your sales are going to increase accordingly and you'll also increase your revenue. Reach is one of these things that is not very expensive to grow. And as I say, if all of our other ducks are in a row and all you do is focus on improving your reach over the next 12 months, you're going to see significant growth. So let's talk about what reach is. Reach is how many people is your business exposed to every day, every week, every month, every year? How much exposure does your business have? Now, it doesn't mean that everybody your business reaches is going to be a huge fan, and that's okay. We don't need everybody, but we do need to be growing our reach. So, a really simple way for you to do this, and the way that I get my masterminders to do it, is to fill out, I've got a spreadsheet that I give them, and I have them track things like what is the size of the email list right now, today, at the very start of the year. So, you want to start as close to the start of the year as you want, or start on whatever month, right? So if it's July when you're listening to this, you can track those stats over 12 months starting today. It doesn't need to be the start of the year. I guess what I want to say though is whatever month you're in, even if you're getting towards the end of the month, it's not going to hurt to go back and start from the month that you're in. Go back and have a look at how much your email list grew, and go back and find those starting stats. So I want you to have a look at how, as I said, what is your email list like? How many people do you have on your list? That's the first total. The next one might be if Instagram is your core platform, then how many followers do you have on Instagram? If you also have a YouTube profile and YouTube is something that you're wanting to grow, what are the stats there? How many podcast subscribers do you have? How many people do you have follow you on your Facebook profile, for example? So any of the platforms that matter, the social media platforms that matter, make sure that you add them to your list and add your starting stats for the start of the month. So how many at the first of this month, how many YouTube followers do you have? How many email list subscribers do you have, etc., etc. And then what I want you to do is at the bottom, tally that number. And then you're going to see really clearly, oh, my business based on these numbers has an exposure of this amount of people. Now, if I talk about running a paid reach campaign to grow your reach, so for example, if you're on Meta and Facebook and Instagram are the areas that you want to grow, you can run a paid reach campaign and that will expose your business to more people. And so you can look at those stats for sure. You're getting more reach because you're paying to put that stuff out into the news feed, and they are always dollars well spent if your ducks are in a row. But we're not going to be measuring that necessarily. We are going to measure the outcome of that. So, say you spent $10 a day on your paid reach campaign over the next month. So, you might kick that off on the first of next month. How many new followers did you gain over that time? How many more people came into your email list, for example? So, we don't need to spend a lot of money to get more reach. And of course, there are always ways to collaborate to do that. So, you might get podcast interviews where you go and do a guest, where you are a guest on somebody's podcast, things like that. So, you're going to be able to expose your business in more ways where you have this number that's quite significant, but we want to measure what is real from the efforts. So, you might say, well, I spent $10 a day and my business was exposed to 200,000 more people. That's great. But how many of those people became followers? What was the impact that that had on your email list, for example? So, that first metric of reach is going to be the number one thing you focus on if, as I say, all of your ducks are in a row. Because remember what I said, I don't remember which episode it was, where I mentioned that marketing is only going to amplify what's already there. So if you've been in the biz for a little while and people just aren't buying, they aren't interested in what it is that you have to sell, your message might be a little bit confused and your offer might not be very clear, your target market might not be clear, it might not be clear what it is, the problem that you're solving in the market. And if that's the case, spending money to push your business out into more, a larger audience isn't going to fix those problems. It's just going to amplify them. So you're going to have more people exposed to your business and you're still going to see that the sales aren't there. So reach is definitely something that we want to focus on. But as I say, it's one of those things that we focus on after all of our ducks are in a row. You have positioned yourself beautifully in the market. You have a high ticket signature offer that feels incredible and people are talking about. You have already got people saying yes to you in some capacity and things are working. You just need more eyes. That's when we go into those paid reach strategies. And there are many, many ways to do that. So reach is the first strategy. Start tracking it. And know this, if you are going to rely purely on organic reach, it's going to take you a while, right? It's going to take you longer unless you're a very good collaborator, you have amazing business relationships, and you can go and rely on those to, uh, scale your business because you are exposing a brand that is, yeah, as I say, has all your ducks in a row, I's dotted, T's crossed, that sort of thing. So that's the first thing. The next uh, metric that we measure is revenue. We always want to be tracking our revenue. We don't want to be putting our heads in the sand and ignoring what's going on. Is your business growing? Is your revenue growing? And if your reach is growing, is that behaving the way that you want it to in terms of your reach is growing, but is it translating into revenue? And if it's not, if your reach is up, as I said earlier, there are a few problems that we need to fix. But I want you to focus on revenue. It's important that we are generating more revenue month. We want to be growing each month. We want to be growing every single month or at least every couple of months. There are some months that on paper they don't look so great because you've got some deals in the pipeline, for example, and they didn't land in that month, but they might land at the start of the next month or whatever. So, sometimes that every single month thing doesn't really work out just because if you're in the high ticket space, we are dealing with few offers, not many. And so sometimes, yeah, you might be in the middle of a sales cycle and they haven't yet dropped, but you want to see, let's just say every quarter, you want to see that there is progress being made every quarter. If your revenue isn't growing, you've got to ask yourself why it is not growing. You've got to ask yourself why not. And that's when you've got to go back and have a look at the parts of your business in like independently and have a look at, okay, so when people come into my world, what is my lead capture like? And what is my conversion rate there like? And what are my offers like from there? So there are so many things that go into creating revenue success, especially when you're trying to get things moving. You're going up a level, you've pivoted potentially, or you're just really going into this with a new level of gusto, or maybe it's a new business, right? So there are many components that we get to dissect from a statistical perspective. So for example, if you have only had 2 or 3 leads come into your business in the last month and you haven't made sales, that's just a reach problem potentially. We don't know that until we're dealing with bigger numbers. If you have no leads coming into your business, that's a problem. That means that you don't have your lead gen in place, and leads are like blood running through the veins of your business. So if your lead gen isn't taken care of, if you don't have a steady stream of leads coming into your business, you've got a problem. So there are many things that we can dissect, but typically if your business is set up correctly, the way that I teach my clients how to set them up, and we apply paid reach strategies to that, and there's still a problem, then we need to go dissect and we need to have a look at the data points and figure out like where is the problem so we can fix it. It's not usually a problem of people don't want to buy my stuff, people don't like me, I'll never be successful because people, whatever, right? We can get in our heads about why people aren't buying, when a lot of the time it's just these fundamental marketing and business principles that have been overlooked, and not any of the things that you're giving yourself grief about. And finally, the final R stat that we measure is results. And by results, I mean the results that you're delivering for your clients. So I have my masterminders create um, a folder on their desktop where they grab screenshots and add their screenshots, client success stories in there. And also they have a spreadsheet where they can register when their clients have wins so that they can record this. Because if you are, even if you've got 1 or 2 clients, if you're delivering outstanding results and your clients are very happy and they're telling you these things, you've got something to share. So what do I mean by that? Some coaching packages are quite long, right? My mastermind is 12 months long. Am I going to wait to the very end of the mastermind to start talking about my client wins inside the mastermind? I'm not, no. When they message me or they post something in our group and they're like, I just did this massive deal, or I just tried this thing and it's working really well, they're wins. You don't have to have achieved the complete transformation to be able to provide evidence that your clients are happy and you're producing results for them. Yeah, it's great to have those testimonials at the very end with some really good results. Like that is always amazing. But there are going to be so many wins that your clients have from the very beginning all the way through to the very end, and the ultimate transformation is delivered. And so we want to be capturing those small wins along the way, because they are showing evidence that when we work with clients, our clients are happy and they get results. Now, tell me what you think is going to happen if you are letting everybody know about your client's success. People are going to get excited. They're going to be taking another look at you. They're going to be like, oh, okay, that client's the same type of person as me and I want that same result. And they're going to start paying more and more attention to you. And so results are a massive metric. I don't expect my clients to measure it in terms of, I achieved 10 types of this result or whatever, or even necessarily set a target, although targets are good. What if every month you captured 10 screenshots with permission, or, you can hide um, the name of the person that you're sharing the information about if you prefer to keep your clients anonymous. But you can, if you captured 10 or 20 client wins every single month and you start talking about them, that's going to create momentum in your business. And so these are the three metrics that matter: reach, making sure that your business is exposed to more and more people every month, and that actually has an impact in terms of, it produces a result in terms of your reach from that first number. Sorry, my brain is a little bit fried. Um, from that number that we started, how many leads do we have? How many email uh, addresses do we have? How many subscribers do we have? How many followers do we have, etc.? So you want to see that that's having a direct impact. So has your reach grown, and by how much? Then what is your revenue done over the last month? And then what results have you delivered in that month? If you focus on those three metrics every single month in 2025, or over the next 12 months, whenever you're listening to this, then that is going to set you up beautifully to create amazing success. And if things aren't working, you're going to have some data points to look at, and you're going to be able to pull them apart and know where you need to fix things. Okay, I think that's a wrap for that. I did want to say when I came on and forgot to mention, this podcast is a day late, so apologies for that. But yesterday was a public holiday here in Australia, and Dave was home and he was making a lot of noise all day. And I just kept trying to sneak in and do it. It's like, oh, forget about it. I'll just do it tomorrow. So that's why we're a day late. And finally, before I leave, I want to say that S.H.E Mastermind the doors are closing for 2025 in about 3 days. So if you would like me to support you over the rest of 2025 and the first month of 2026, then now is the time to say yes. Now is the time to head to michellehex.com, get yourself signed up, and let me help you grow those really key metrics over the next 12 months so that by this time next year, you will be sitting very pretty in your business. So I have a question for you. There are two ways that you can go about this year. If you have created your success strategies and they're working and you're loving it and you don't have any fear about growth and you don't feel like you need support, you don't need to listen. You can just go on your merry way and keep doing what you're doing. But if you didn't achieve what you wanted in 2024 or 2023 or 2022, and you feel like you're reinventing the wheel all of the time, you're feeling exhausted because you've spent a lot of time and energy creating things that went nowhere. You feel like you put in a huge amount of effort and there was very little return, and you found yourself exhausted and gun shy. So what that means is you're like, I don't, I'm so scared to launch again, or I'm so scared to do this again because it just keeps failing. If that's you, then consider coming and joining me in S.H.E Mastermind, because we will turn that around. I guarantee I'm going to be able to take one look at your business and know why you're struggling and how we can turn that around really quickly so that you can start being profitable. It is always a story of a coach focusing on the wrong things at the wrong time and putting time and energy into things that don't actually matter. My first job is to get you creating those foundations and then focused on the things that are going to generate revenue very, very quickly. That's why my clients get results quickly, because we focus on the things that matter, the things that actually deliver sales. Because if you're focused on the busy work and you're exhausted, but you're not getting sales, that tells me that you're not focused on the things that deliver sales. And I can show you how to turn that around. Anyway, that is it for this week. To join S.H.E Mastermind, the links are in the show notes, but it's michellehex.com. And I will see you next week. Bye for now.